Denny Hamlin's Daytona 500 streak was ended tonight. Can you take a guess at who? Kevin Harvick? Nope. Brad Keselowski? Nope. How about defending champion Chase Elliott? Nope. What about Michael McDowell? Nope. Yes! Michael McDowell won the 2021 Daytona 500. Raise your hand if you predicted that. Anyone? Anyone? Did you predict that? Did you? I for sure didn't predict that. But Michael McDowell, driver of the number 34 Front Row Motorsports, loves Ford, won the Daytona 500. I bit my tongue there in excitement. Oh my gosh, I am genuinely shocked. Michael McDowell, who's been in the Cup Series, I believe, 13 years. He has been famous for that qualifying crash at Texas about 12 years ago. Step aside, Texas qualifying crash. There's a new Michael McDowell story in town. He wins the 2021 Daytona 500 in a chaotic final lap. Oh my gosh, guys. So for the third straight decade, the year that ends in 1 has ended with a major upset winner getting their first career win. 2001, Michael Waltrip wins the Daytona 500 in his first win in 460-something starts. 2011, Trevor Bayne with the Wood Brothers wins his first race in the Daytona 500 and only his second or third start. And then in 2021, in his, I think they said 360, 50-something start, Michael McDowell wins the 2021 Daytona 500 in a chaotic finish. When I say chaotic finish, man, if you guys didn't see it, let's just jump right into the race, and we'll talk about McDowell at the end a little bit more. The race started off on time, 2:15. That's when the green flag dropped. They ran about 3 laps before caution. 20 years after Dale Earnhardt's death, everyone did 3 fingers in the air for Dale. During that lap, Derek Cope crashes, blows a tire, and I think people were saying on the Twitter world that it was the same place where Earnhardt blew a tire when he lost the 500 to Derek Cope. So someone said on the internet world, someone was saying that it's Dale Earnhardt, the ghost of Dale Earnhardt, getting revenge on Derek Cope or something. But anyways, that happens on lap 3. We go back to green. And then on lap 14 of 200 in a 500-mile race, drivers get a little bit too aggressive. Kyle Busch gives Christopher Bell a good bump. Christopher Bell goes up, hits Almirola's back bumper once, hits it second time, and on that second time, hit it at a really bad angle. Almirola goes spinning. It triggers a 16, 17 car pileup. And because of that, takes out some really, really good competitive cars. There's a big caution, mud's flung up everywhere, lightning strikes. Then we go into a 6.5-hour lightning/rain delay. It starts pouring down rain. No one was sure if we were going to get all 500 miles in. We weren't sure if we were going to get it in today, tomorrow, or even Tuesday if it was needed. But we did get that all 500 miles in, and Michael McDowell wins. Everything in between. After that lap 14 crash, when we came back, the drivers were much more tame. In my opinion, the worst race under the Super Speedway package. I've praised the Super Speedway package very much in the past. I've said, yes, I love the Super Speedway package. We have yet to see a bad race. This race, well, it was single file for a good majority of it. After that lap 14 crash that took out some really good cars, 16 cars involved, the drivers, they weren't scared, but they were being conservative. They were being laid back. They didn't want to do something stupid and ruin their chances early. We saw single file freight train on the top for a long time. Denny Hamlin led a race-high 98 laps, moved up to 5th all-time on the Daytona 500 laps led list. But yeah, once again, a really just freight train race. And it took until the last lap and a half for anything to happen. They ran that freight train, that top line, single file all the way until about a lap and a half to go. A couple guys tried stepping out to the bottom. Then on that last lap, they finally got some people to go with them. People are separating. Logano was leading this whole time. He's blocking low. He's blocking high. Finally, we get to the back stretch, and this is where all hell breaks loose. We go into turns 3 and 4. Michael McDowell gives Brad Keselowski a huge shove, and in the process, Keselowski goes under Logano to try to take the lead, and I don't know if McDowell was still on his bumper or if he got loose, but when McDowell hit Logano, or Keselowski, he went under Logano had nowhere to go. He was screwed no matter what. People like to place blame on Logano a lot. Logano could have had nothing. He couldn't have done anything in this situation. If he throws a block like he did, he spins out and wrecks. If he lets Keselowski go, he just gave up a chance at Daytona 500. No matter what Logano did, he was screwed. And, it triggers a big crash. Keselowski goes back up the track hard into the outside wall. And Kyle Busch comes up and he hits him extremely hard. Keselowski gets airborne. And I tell you what, the initial crash, you couldn't really see what was going on because there was a big just burst of fire. Big orange ball. You couldn't see what was going on. But in those replays, it was scary. The back of Keselowski's car just got ripped off in the catch fence. It went up, got in the catch fence, ripped it off. His tire went flying, parts are flying. Someone's gas tank blew up because there was a huge fire around Austin Cindric, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski. Joey Logano was involved. They got the replay up here. Bubba Wallace, it looks like Ryan Preece, Ross Chastain, I can't tell, Cole Custer, it looks like. Lots of cars involved in this accident, and it was a violent crash. Very scary. Initial look at it, obviously you see the flames, it's scary, but in the replays, man, NASCAR safety, we always talk about NASCAR safety, especially during this weekend, and especially this year being the 20th anniversary of Dale Earnhardt's unfortunate death. But NASCAR safety has improved so much over the past 20 years. We look at some of these crashes, and I've just talked about how much I praise the Super Speedway package because it provides great racing, but it causes some scary crashes. We saw last year with Ryan Newman and his injury in that horrific crash. And this one, thankfully, no one was hurt. Everyone was okay. Keselowski came out of the infield care center. Kyle Busch, after hard hits, I believe Austin Cindric did. Let me check up on that real quick. Austin Cindric was released from the infield care center, thankfully. He is okay. But, these crashes are scary. And, we look at some of these crashes today and we're like, oh, man, that was a hard hit. And they get out of the car. And we're so used to seeing that. But, after last year, Newman's crash, when he didn't get out of the car, it kind of put that thought back in our heads like, we know motorsports are dangerous. We know going 200 miles an hour and getting turned into a wall is never going to be safe 100% of the time. And that kind of was a wake-up call, I think, especially for me as a NASCAR fan. We've been thinking about that so much. The return to the first Daytona 500 since Newman's injury, 20 years after Earnhardt's death. We were thinking about it. It was fresh on our minds. And after looking at those replays, you got to give NASCAR safety a lot of props. They've made these cars so safe. And then obviously the safer barriers, all these things that they've just improved upon when it comes to the safety of the car. NASCAR's done a tremendous job, but this package is still as great racing it provides, other than, the single file stuff. It provides some scary crashes. And, I think they're going to look at that with the next-gen car. They're going to say, we want great racing, but, man, we got to keep some of these cars on the ground because when they get in the air, that can be scary. Whether they're going into a catch fence or they're up in the air potentially getting hit by another car, it is scary. But, once again, just NASCAR, tremendous job keeping these cars safe, but you hate to see a race end like that. You love seeing a close finish. You love seeing a photo finish side by side, 3 wide or something, but you hate to see it end in a big fiery ball with a car clipping the catch fence, getting hit really hard in the door. You do not want to see that at all. So it's unfortunate that it has to end like that, but these runs that these cars get in this package, it's happened so much. I can name so many wrecks, I'm not going to, but that was just an example. Just wanted to talk about that, give NASCAR major props for that, for improving the safety of these cars over the past 20 years. And, obviously just this finish of this race was so chaotic. But, yeah, back to the race. Other than that lap 14 crash in the end of the race, there wasn't much that happened. We had some pit strategies with the Toyotas pitting at one time, the Fords going a different time, the Chevys going another time. And then we had a couple small instances. Quinn Houff, Chase Briscoe got in an incident. There was a small incident between Stenhouse, Bell, and Larson, I think. But other than that, no real big wrecks other than that lap 14 crash in the end of the race. So, after that lap 14 crash, I think everyone's like, okay, this is way too early to go crazy and try to wreck each other and try to win the race on lap 14. Let's back off. Towards the end of the stages, the last few laps of the stages, they would get a little bit more aggressive. They'd get 3 wide, 2 wide. That's the stuff we love to see, and they were clean. We would see side by side at the stage end, Hamlin just edging out Harvick, and then we would see some great finishes throughout, 3 wide, and no wrecks, no one in the wall, no one in the catch fence, just nice, clean finishes, which that's what we like to see. And then, obviously that end we've just talked about for about 5 minutes, but let's go into the results. Michael McDowell wins his first career race in a chaotic finish for Front Row Motorsports, their first win since 2013 at Talladega with David Ray. I keep on saying that. It was since 2016 with Chris Buescher. Anyways, one of their few wins in the Cup Series comes in the biggest race in NASCAR, the Daytona 500. Not only does he do that, but he clinches his first career playoff berth. That's a big deal. McDowell, he showed flashes of improvement last year. They had some really good runs at some of the road courses, some top 10s, even at the plate races. And this year he shows up and he wins the Daytona 500. He ends Denny Hamlin's Daytona 500 win streak. And man, that is a shock. He has won a Daytona 500 before Tony Stewart, Kyle Busch. I mean, mind-blowing. This is a career-defining moment for Michael McDowell. Not a guy we talk about every week, but he went out and he won. He won the Daytona 500. That is so impressive. I'm extremely happy for him. That is cool for him. I don't know what else to say. Second place, according to this, I think the scoring is official. Chase Elliott led a few laps in there. He was top 10, top 15 most of the night, and, he was 6th, 7th before the last lap shenanigans. Ends up going up. He was side by side with McDowell. 3 wide with Austin Dillon. No push helped either of them. McDowell had more momentum. Elliott had kind of gotten loose. Dillon just came too late, and McDowell won the race under caution. But Elliott second, his best finish in the Daytona 500. Third, Austin Dillon. Man, that would have been cool to see. McDowell winning is super cool, but man, it would have been cool to see the 3-car win 20 years after Dale Earnhardt's unfortunate death. But yeah, Austin Dillon, a really good day for him. He showed speed all week from the duels to tonight. Just a great car for them. That's a good sign for RCR. Good finish for them. Fourth, Kevin Harvick. Really good night for him. He struggled in some of these super speedway races recently, but a top 5, that's a really strong start to the year for them. Good car. One of the best cars they've had, I think, in recent memory at super speedways. They led a ton of laps. Top 5 most of the night. 4th place finish. Denny Hamlin finishes 5th. His Daytona 500 streak ends. He led a ton of laps. He swept the stages, gained himself a couple playoff points, but falls just short of the Daytona 500 victory for a 5th place finish. 6th place, Ryan Preece, one of the open cars that we talked about the other day. Really good run for him. He was up front early. He was competing for stage points. And this is a big deal for him because when it comes to open cars, owner points are a big deal when it comes to qualifying for the next race since it's going to be a random draw. So Ryan Preece, this is a big deal for him to gain all those points over these other open teams. 7th place, Ross Chastain was involved in that last crash. A good opening start to his Chip Ganassi days. Obviously, outside of the crash, he got a top 10, which is good. 8th place, Jamie McMurray. Look at that. In his return to NASCAR for the Daytona 500, a top 10 for him. 2010 Daytona 500 winner with a really good run. 9th place, Corey LaJoie. He always shows up at the end of these super speedway races, whether it's with Go Fast and now with Spire. He's showing up and getting top 10s. 10th place in his return to the Cup Series. Kyle Larson led a couple laps there. Good run for him. He doesn't have great super speedway luck either, so good run for him. 11th, Cole Custer was involved in that last lap crash. He had a pretty solid day. 12th, Joey Logano, as we talked about, he took the white flag. He led those last 20-something laps before crashing. 13th, Brad Keselowski. 14th, Kyle Busch. 15th, Austin Cindric. All involved in that last lap crash. 16th, Christopher Bell. First car, 1 lap down. Was involved in a crash. Blew a tire. Took Stenhouse with him. Took Larson with him. Larson didn't have much damage, but Christopher Bell, 16th in his Joe Gibbs debut. 17th, Bubba Wallace, the first race for 23XI Racing. He was up front with the Toyotas all day long. Ends up with a 17th place finish after he had a vibration in the car, pitted, went a lap down, ends up 17th, and he also crashed on that last lap. 18th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 19th in his Stewart-Haas Racing debut, Chase Briscoe. 19th, considering his day, is not bad. I think he had a pit road penalty later in the race. He was in a wreck early in the race. So 19th isn't bad. 3 laps down, though. 20th, Joey Gase. Attaboy, Joey Gase. Look at this. 2 Rick Ware cars. After I bashed Rick Ware Racing, finished 20th and 21st and 24th. How about that? Good for Rick Ware Racing. Good for Joey Gase. Attaboy. 21st, Cody Ware. Good day for him. 22nd, Kurt Busch. He was involved in that early crash. 23rd, BJ McLeod. Get loud for McLeod, my friends. 24th, Josh Bilicki. 25th, Martin Truex Jr. involved in that early crash. 26th, William Byron. He was involved in that early crash. 27th, Tyler Reddick. Basically, everyone else that I read, unless I say otherwise, was involved in that lap 14 crash. 27th, Tyler Reddick. 28th, Kaz Grala. His car caught on fire. That was not related to a wreck. It was like a mechanical problem. 29th, Quinn Houff. He was in a separate wreck. 30th, Ryan Blaney, and here's where we get to the guys who were in that big crash. 30th, Ryan Blaney, never had a shot. 31st, Chris Buescher. 32nd, Anthony Alfredo. 33rd, Matt DiBenedetto. 34th, Eric Almirola. 35th, Alex Bowman. 36th, Daniel Suarez in Trackhouse's debut, an unfortunate start. Pitbull gave the command. It was a great command, but darn. Bad start. 37th, former Daytona winner, not Daytona 500, but Daytona winner, David Reagan finishes 37th. 38th, Ryan Newman. 39th, Eric Jones. And 40th, take a guess, it's Derek Cope. Wrecked on lap 3. But oh my gosh, the race overall itself was a solid 6 out of 10. Add in Michael McDowell winning. That shocked me. I am like full 2 p.m. energy right now when it's actually, I have a clock right here. You see, I can't even think. It's midnight and I have 2 p.m. energy. I am stunned right now. So that gives it a 0.5. We're going to give this race a 6.5 out of 10. By far the most disappointing race under this aero package, engine package, whatever you want to call it. But oh my gosh, Michael McDowell with a career-defining moment is in the playoffs, wins the biggest race in NASCAR, the Daytona 500. Woo! Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm so energized right now. I think I might be up to 4 a.m. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. It helps me out a ton and it would make my day. Subscribe to the channel. We just hit 1,100 subscribers. That is awesome. Share the channel with your NASCAR friends. And Michael McDowell fans, if you're out there, say something in the comments, man. I want to congratulate you guys. That is awesome. I am happy for you. Good for you, Michael McDowell.